Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going, right? Live chat is currently unavailable today. Oh, that's a shame. Why is that? Why is my live chat currently unavailable, dudes? That's not cool. Let me go check on here. So I go over to YouTube. I want to go check my stuff here. My channel, dude. I'm broadcasting live, right? Broadcasting live, my channel. Broadcasting live, live. There's my live, my channel. Broadcasting live. Live chat. Oh, there's my live, my channel. Dude, broadcasting live. Whoa, too much. All right, so I cannot, for some reason, it won't let me see it. My chat in OBS, so I have to keep two windows open, dude. This is like hella confusing. All right. But now I can see live chat. So, all right. I should have like reset the chat, but can I do it? Is it possible? Refresh. Yeah, it's back. Okay, I can close this window. Damn it. All right. Okay. Yay! So much better and less hardship on my video card. It's like I'm recording, I'm streaming, I'm rendering, and I'm rendering. No, come on. Yeah. What have I done? Nothing, because I like just did a show yesterday, and those shows wear me out. Let me tell you. And even then, it was almost 4 hours long, and I still didn't finish all my stuff. I realized after I told my story about being a kid who had to lie about his address in order to go to a high school, a school out of district. I forgot to finish that story. I mean, I finished it by telling you I read The Stand, but I didn't. But that wasn't really the end. That wasn't really the end of my story. Like, so I have to retell the story, right? Because you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I was telling us the other day on my show. I was telling a story about how growing up as a kid, I grew up in like I grew up in a poor ass bad area of LA County, and that was by the factories. I lived by all the factories and railroad tracks, and the oil refinery, and and uh like my mom got a job working in a school district, in the rich school district by the beach. So she was like, because she was working at the school district by the beach, she's like, hey, why don't I have my kid go to this school district instead of the school district where we live that's funded by like low income people? I mean, like us. So my mom had a friend from high school that did well, who had a house in like close enough to the district where she could we could use her address. I mean, basically for the first couple years, I didn't have to lie about anything. I just went, right? Because I was my mom's kid. But after that, after I went into middle school, no longer could I say I'm my mom's kid at the school anymore, because she's not at the school anymore. She's at a different school. I'm in middle school now, right? It's different. But what was weird was that the middle school and the elementary school were like stuck together. they're like one school basically. they were stuck together. So it was like moving from elementary school to high school wasn't really that big of it. You didn't really move at all. You went to the same place. You just went to different buildings in the place. Anyways, but they couldn't use the excuse that, oh, my mom works at the school anymore. So we had to find another way of getting me to go to this beach high school or this beach school and not going to the school in my own district. So yeah, we had a friend who had an address in the right area. So we We lied. We lied. We lied on the and back then, right? There like computers were like hardly at all around. There's almost no computers. So like yeah, whatever. It was easy just to put it on the form. That was it, right? It was easy. Like well, I guess well, it was easy to put it on the form, right? I had to like keep up the facade, but like I like. Anyways, which became increasingly hard to do the older I got, because I started figuring out that I wasn't like I didn't live near any of the people in my school, and that I was hella poor compared to everyone else, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. But I also had to like lie a lot, which like about where I lived. But the benefits, I would say, speak for themselves, right? I believe I had a pretty good education. I believe I have a pretty good education. And not only can I say that about myself, but I can also point to other kids and be like, yo, look, why is it that kids who go to rich school districts tend to do better than kids who go to poor school districts? Is it because kids who go to poor school districts are dumb? No! Look at me! I'm from a poor district, but I went to a rich school and I turned out great. So it's not that poor kids are dumb, it's that poor kids are encased in poverty, and that their schools aren't funded nearly as well as rich schools are funded. That was the whole point I was trying to make. That was one of the points, right? The other point I wanted to make was, hey, guess what, guys? I was super lucky. I was super lucky in that I was able to like do that before computers were around, right? Before computers became like everywhere and they can track shit like that, when it was just all paperwork and I mean, like literally, it was like fucking rooms and rooms of paper files that you had to manually go through if you wanted to find something. It wasn't this instant search shit you do now with computers. Like, sure, they had the data. Good luck finding it. So, and even then, for me, it was getting rough. It was getting rough. Like toward the end, before I moved away to Carson City, Nevada. And but like that was for me, right? But I wasn't alone. We weren't the only family that did that. Families all over the country did the same thing, have been doing the same thing for a long time. But look what happened to them. Here, let me move here. Ohio mom, Kelly Williams Bolar, jailed for sending kids to a better school district. That could have been me, man. That could have been me. My mom could have went to jail for sending me to a better school district. Kelly Williams Bolar lied about residency to get kids in a better district. By Andrea Canning and Liesel Tenglau. January 5th, 2011, dude. This is 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, okay? January 6th, 2011. An Ohio mother's attempt to provide her daughters Ohio mother's attempt to provide her daughters with a better education has landed her behind bars. Kelly Williams Bolar was convicted of lying about her residency to get her daughters into a better school district. That's what I did. That's what my family did. It's so overwhelming. I'm exhausted, she said. I did this for them. So there it is. I did this for them. What a great mom. Williams Bolar, I mean, like, seriously, that's not sarcasm. That mom sacrificed herself for her kids, for the betterment of her kids. I mean, seriously, what a great mom. I mean, I know we just had Father's Day, but, like, I think that's why I didn't go into it, because it was a mom story and not a dad story, but here it is, right? today's Juneteenth, and here's the thing: my mom's white. She married a Mexican man who was here illegally, but my mom's white, so she didn't go to jail. Like, she didn't even, I don't think we even got, well, back then we didn't mess with, like, man, that was back in like the 80s. This is in the, what, 2011? Yeah, computers are everywhere. They had tracking on everything. Anyways, Williams-Bollard decided 4 years ago to send her daughters to a highly ranked school in neighboring Copley-Fairlawn School District. But it wasn't her Akron district of residence, so her children were ineligible to attend school there, even though her father lived within the district's boundaries. Like, I didn't even have my dad living there. Like, nothing. Just my mom worked there for a second. Okay. The school district accused William Bollard of lying about her address, falsifying records, and, when confronted, having her father file false court papers to get around the system. I don't know about that. I don't know. Was it really false? The father lives there, dude. He's like the father is paying taxes into the school district. There's your fucking taxes. What are you really like? What are you really going on about? This is just like racism, guys. At this point, this is institutional racism. This is systemic racism. The father is literally paying taxes to the school district where his daughters are going. What's the fucking problem? The problem is, I believe, I don't know, right, because I can't see their skin color, but I bet you 9 out of 10 they're black. They're black Americans. And this is systemic racism being like applied to black Americans to incarcerate them. Like, holy crap, dude. Holy crap. The United States is the nation with the highest rate of incarceration. Why is that? Because we have a legacy of slavery that we haven't dealt with. I mean, it's literally in our Constitution. Still, slavery is outlawed except for cases of punishment. What the fuck is that bullshit? Then now you've just incentivized incarcerating black Americans so you can re-enslave them. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, I'm all about Juneteenth, right? I'm happy. I'm gonna go downtown and fucking celebrate, right? The freedom. But we're not fucking done yet. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. All right. Williams-Bollard said she did it to keep her children safe and that she lived part-time with her dad. When my home got broken into, I felt it was my duty to do something else, Williams-Bollard said. Yo, all of this is really compelling to me. Of course, I was a kid who went to whose mom didn't go to jail for it. Like, I got the benefits without having to go to jail for it. Like, our family didn't even pay taxes into it. My dad wasn't even a legal citizen at that point. All right. While her children are no longer attending schools in the Copley-Fairlawn district, school officials said she was cheating because her daughters received a quality education without paying taxes to fund it. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Are you seriously gonna fucking put a functioning adult, productive adult into jail where she's like dependent upon the taxpayers and she's producing nothing for the country? You're gonna do that over quote stolen tax funds when corporations are doing like crazy shit without paying their taxes. Rich people pay accountants so they don't have to pay taxes at all. You got Republicans in DC in 2018 passed tax laws so billionaires pay like the lowest taxes of us all. What the fuck? This is bullshit is what you're telling me. You're pissing down my leg and telling me it's raining. Man, fuck off. Quote, those tax dollars need to stay home with our students, school district officials said. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. That's systemic racism. This is illegal to talk about in South Carolina, in Confederate controlled states. What's a sign that a state is controlled by the Confederates? When it's illegal to talk about systemic racism. Ah! My third eye. Ah! Okay. Okay. Sentencing intended as deterrent. The district hired a private investigator who shot video showing Williams-Ballard driving her children into the district. The school officials asked her to pay $30,000 in back tuition. Whoa, dude, all of this could have been me. All of this, literally, I'm not lying, right? How many times did I drive with my mom the half hour it took to from Gardena all the way to Redondo Beach? How many times did I do that? Like, they paid money for a private investigator? Holy shit. That's taxpayer funded money going to a private organization. Was that private investigator a friend of the school district board members? I bet you he was. He's like, hey, white supremacist buddy, you want to make a few bucks off the taxpayers? Go harass this black woman, and I'll give you taxpayer money. Oh my God. Like, I don't know that, right? I can't really actually say that because I don't know any of this. This is all speculation on my part, based on like the scant facts I have. I'm just trying to paint a picture here, but like, I'm trying to justify why a school district would, like, a school board member would hire a private investigator to go after a woman when the father of the kids who they live with most of the time or part of the time, like, is already paying taxes into the school district. Like, you guys are like reaching real far for this one particular woman. And you say it's a deterrent? To who, dude? To who? It's not a deterrent. It's you flexing your dick. All right. Let's see. Williams-Ballard refused, right? Who's got $30,000 to pay in fucking fines? That's another way of systemic racism, is that the law this is another way that they do a systemic racism. The quote is, and I don't know who said it, but the quote is that the law in all of its majesty equally forbids rich and poor from sleeping under bridges. Wah, wah, wah. Do you get the joke? When's a rich person gonna need to sleep under a bridge? Never. It's only a poor person who's gonna ever find themselves in the position where they're gonna need to sleep under a bridge, and then the law forbids them from having even that kind of shelter. Why? Because the law itself is fucking racist, or, well, in this case, classist. But class and race in the United States are intertwined. If you talk about one, you might as well be talking about the other. They can't have one without the other. Class and racism. It's the institution that we must raise it. Ask your friend or brother. Yeah, all right. No, I don't want to keep going. All right. All right. Let's see. She was sentenced last week to 10 days in county jail and put on 3 years of probation. She will also be required to perform community service, the Beacon Journal reported. Homegirl's already got a divorce from her husband, so she's already a single mother. I mean, she might have another person helping her out right now, but I don't know that. It doesn't say here. Like, Williams-Ballard, that could be because she doesn't have enough money to fucking pay the court to change her name back to her maiden name. I don't know. dude. Yeah, she's being singled out. Of course she is. She's poor and she can't. Like, the whole point is that she's poor and that they're telling poor people stay in your lane. That's the whole fucking point of this entire thing. I am a poor person. I came from fucking poverty, and I did the exact same thing, and I didn't get caught. And what happened? I think I got a pretty good education, to the point where I'm like, dude, everyone should have this kind of education. Everyone should have exactly the same thing that I got to have. Everyone should. She shouldn't be in jail. This mom should not be in jail. She should be free. The only reason why she's in jail is systemic racism and classism. It's because the law, in all of its majesty, equally forbids rich kids from lying about their address to go to a poor school district. Ha ha ha. Right? It's by leaning on the law and saying I'm only following the law. You're only Pontius Pilate. You're washing your hands of it, but you're not fucking innocent. That's bullshit. You're still just as guilty. You're just as because you're conscious of it. And you're consciously handing it off. Maybe you could get away with it if you were like ignorant. And then you could be, and if you were ignorant, then see, that's the whole Jesus thing, right? Like, maybe you could get away with being bad if you're ignorant. But once you meet Jesus and he tells you this, what's up, and you accept it, you're like, oh, I understand now. And Jesus cleanses you of all your sin, and he takes all the punishment that should have went to you, but goes to him instead, right? After that point, it's on you, buddy. It's on you. You can't say anymore that oh, I was ignorant. No, now you know. Now you know. You can't say like you can't say that you don't know anymore. You fucking know. Like Jesus already did the deal. So that's the whole thing, right? You already know. Same thing with this, and I forget why I was talking about it. Oh yeah, racism, systemic racism. Once you know that systemic racism exists, you can't just be like, oh well, it's not on me anymore, it's the system. I'm just doing my job. No, dude, you know now. Right? According to Dante, where's Pontius Pilate? If you don't know, if you ever read Dante's Inferno, Pontius Pilate is chilling, literally. All right. That's so funny. Yeah, Juneteenth. Information takes time to travel. And and then the change in our world has been the change in which the speed of information travels. If Joe Biden today were to write a proclamation, what kind of proclamation could Joe Biden proclaim that would be awesome? Like medical debt jubilee. And even more, medical and government debt jubilee, because Medicare has a lot of the debt, right, of Americans, I would guess. So any debt the government could forgive, that the government has, they should be able to forgive. Any fines, like down to the state and local level, any fines, anything. Joe Biden could do a debt jubilee and proclaim it, right? Fucking 5 seconds after he does it, it's from DC, it's in LA, and people are hearing about it in Los Angeles, going, holy shit. All that money I used to owe, I don't have to owe anymore. All those taxes, well, I gotta watch that, right? Because a lot of that money is owed by rich people. right. I gotta watch that shit. Jubilee for people under a certain amount of wealth. Yeah. I gotta watch that. I mean, because the rich are already getting away with it by not paying their fair share. Why would you give them a jubilee? No, you give the poor people the jubilee, not the rich people. Okay, but the moment he does that, the moment Joe Biden does that jubilee and it goes out across the airwaves, it's literally across the airwaves and it's like in the air across the internet worldwide, right? They're hearing about it in China and in India. They're hearing about it like 5 seconds after he does it. And it's amazing. And then instantly the whole society uprises in celebration, right? Yay! Woo! Because we all want to be debt free, right? Everyone wants to be debt free. All the poor people, all the people who have to work for a living want to be debt free. That's how I'll like. If you have to work, if you have to do something, if you have to work, you should you should be debt free. and that information would fly across the globe instantaneously. That would be pretty awesome, right? Because that's the world we live in today. But it used to be not like this. I was alive when it was not like this. It used to be, and even worse, right? It used to be super lag before information would travel. It would take forever for information to travel. That's why the fog of war was like a real idea, because literally you wouldn't know anything beyond what you could see. Like no GPS, no maps, no satellites, no like cell phones, no nothing, dude. You had nothing. Like not even a telephone. You couldn't even do a telephone. No, you can't even call. Like, hey, what do you see over there on that side? Nope. Can't even do that. Nothing. No walkie-talkie. Nothing. Nothing. So imagine that information was real slow to travel. Abraham Lincoln wrote the proclamation of the Emancipation Proclamation. He wrote it. And that's pretty big news, right? All the black Americans in the free states are freed from slavery. Pretty big news, right? As big as if Joe Biden were to give a jubilee to all the working people and erase all their debt. Like they can even look on your taxes and be like, yo, if you make less than $200,000 a year, all your debt's forgiven. That news would be out instantaneously because it's huge news, right? Well, all these black Americans are free now. They all have freedom. They don't have to, they don't have to slave under terrible conditions. They're free. That's huge news. Well, it took 2.5 years for that news to travel from Abraham Lincoln to Texas. Whereas now it would happen in 5 seconds. It took 2 years for information to slowly percolate throughout all of society that you can't own a human being anymore. Well, unless it's for punishment. That's such bullshit, dude. That's such bullshit. We gotta fix that. That's a fucking embarrassment. That's a serious embarrassment. What an oversight. How could you even leave that there? What an embarrassment. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? I think it's the 14th Amendment. I gotta look. In the amendment that bans slavery, there's a clause that carves out an exception for slavery for punishment. So that slavery is illegal unless you're doing it as punishment. The fuck does that mean? as punishment. You basically legalize slavery with it's slavery with steps. Is what it is. It's slavery with steps. There's extra steps. Like, before you can enslave this human being, first you have to incarcerate them legally. How hard is that going to be when you write the black codes and Jim Crow laws and bullshit like that? Because you remember, right? Okay, so let me, like, for a reminder for people. After the Civil War, what happened was the South, or not the South, the Confederates were defeated militarily and Lee surrendered. However, a few weeks later, John Wilkes Booth assassinated Abraham Lincoln. That's basically a coup. It was basically a coup because the man who replaced Abraham Lincoln was named Andrew Johnson, who was very, very, very sympathetic to the South. He was very sympathetic to the Confederacy. He didn't necessarily believe in slavery because he felt slaves competed with poor white people. But he still didn't like black people, and he didn't necessarily want them to be any better off. He just wanted black people to not compete with poor white people, which was kind of dumb because then he preserved the Southern power structure, the Confederate power structure. He preserved it's really difficult, right? I have to be careful because inside of me has been conditioned to associate the South with the Confederacy, and they're not the same. They're not the same. I have been conditioned to associate the South with the Confederacy. And by doing so, that's bad because the South is a separate entity from the Confederacy. The South is bigger than the Confederacy. The Confederacy is this little tiny thing. The South is huge. It's its own people. It's its own culture. It's its own history. It's its own music. Its own tragedies. Its own stories. It's its own thing, right? The South is great. The Confederacy is a fucking little cancerous tumor. That's bullshit. But unfortunately for me, growing up, I had conditioned into me to mingle the two, to always conflate the South with the Confederacy, to always glob them onto each other. It took a lot of work on my part to finally fucking untangle, to untangle all the bullshit in my head, to realize that the South is separate from the Confederacy. They're not the same thing. The Confederacy is an institution, and the South is an organic structure of people and life and history and stories that grows and lives. The Confederacy is a cancerous little tumor. It's literally a cancerous tumor. But again, I've been conditioned a long time, and it's difficult to break conditioning. The first step is to recognize it. All right, so back to my point. So Andrew Johnson was very sympathetic to the Confederacy. He wasn't necessarily a fan of he wasn't a fan of black people at all. He had the same slaver mindset as the slavers. So Congress was called away, right? Congress like went away. They had their recess or whatever, because that's what they did, right? They had the Congress members had to go back to their home states. They didn't have instant communication, guys. If you wanted to know what's going on, you couldn't just fucking read a newspaper because how's a newspaper from way the fuck over there gonna get to you? It's not. Like a stagecoach? No, dude. A stagecoach is not gonna travel 1,000 miles every day to deliver you the daily paper. Maybe they might mail you one, but eventually you need to go back home to your home state, because that's where you live, right? You don't live in DC. You're a citizen who's been elected to represent your home country. You still have your shit to do back home. You still have a business to run. You still have a practice to run. You still have a farm to take care of. You still have a family you want to see. You still have all this. I mean, I'm talking like back in the day, right? We're not talking about now with instant communication. Look at this bullshit. I'm talking to you right now with the magic of instantaneously, with the magic of technology that did not exist back then. So all the Congress people had to go home after Lincoln got killed. After Lincoln was assassinated, all of them went home. So they all went home to talk to their people and to console their people, talk to their people, to be there in person, because you had to be. And you can't fly to your home state. You had to travel by horse. Maybe if you were lucky, there was a train. Maybe. But otherwise, you're riding a horse or a stagecoach. And maybe not even a stagecoach, dude. Maybe stagecoach only part of the way. But probably a horse, right? You're riding a horse. Like 1,000 miles, or not even 1,000 miles, maybe only 500 miles. You're still riding a horse. Fuck. All right. Johnson, in that time, when all the Congress people were away, he used his power as president to thwart all the ideas that the Republican, or that, well, yeah, it was the Republican Congress at that time, wanted to do. The Congress wanted to do. But really it was the Union Congress. It wasn't the Republican Congress. It was the Union Congress. They wanted to remake the South to destroy the Southern the Confederate power structure, so that the South could grow and heal properly. Right? It can't heal if the Confederacy is still inside of it. You gotta yank out the Confederacy, the power structure, in order for the South to really heal. But that didn't happen. Andrew Johnson thwarted all of that stuff while the Congress was away, because he was in power and no one could stop him in Congress or in DC. So yeah, he passed all these deals and he reinstated all of the Confederates back. He invited them all the Confederates back into the DC government. And so the Congress people heard about this a long time after it happened, because there's a huge lag, right? And they're like, holy shit! So they're running to come back. But what do you mean running to come back? I mean fucking riding horses 500 miles to get back to DC before this crazy Andrew Johnson fucks up everything. Well, once they get there, the Congress is so angry at Andrew Johnson, they immediately moved. Well, they didn't immediately, but they moved to impeach the guy. Andrew Johnson was one of the first presidents to almost be impeached, and I think he was impeached. I think he was one vote away from being expelled. They almost had him. He was one vote away from being expelled from Congress. Or from the office of the presidency, because he thwarted the entire Reconstruction period. So it kind of sucks. We're still dealing with the reverberations, even though afterwards Ulysses S. Grant, the general. The Union general became president. Even though he became president afterwards, still, what happened was all the ideas of the Confederacy, because it wasn't smashed immediately, metastasized. It metastasized westward, and it metastasized into the west, and it metastasized even up into the north, because you had ideas like manifest destiny, which was bullshit. It was conquest. The United States became a conquesting force. The ideas, and that's the thing, right? The ideas behind even the existence of the United States was that all humans were created equally and had inherent freedoms. But they only went part way. They only gave that idea to themselves, and they didn't afford that idea to every other human like it has to be. Necessarily, it must be that way. And since they denied that to other human beings, they were transformed into a force of conquest. Man, all that karma's got to be paid back. You think it's over. You think it's done. But where's it going to go, right? Where's it going to go? Look at the way information flows nowadays. It's not going to go away, guys. It's never going to go away. And yeah, Orwell foresaw a future in which the past was erased and replaced with whatever the state thought would be better. That's scary. That's terrifying. But we're not there yet, right? For now, information flows freely, and all these things that happened in the past are still there, and they have to be dealt with. And if we are to heal and move forward as a nation, because essentially those wars of conquest were essentially wars of white supremacy, wars in the name of white supremacy. And when you get down to it, I am glad that the Native Americans defended their sovereignty in the Supreme Court. Like, I'm shocked as hell that it worked. I don't know what. Like, I got to read that article about how by Elie Mystal that he explains it. I got to read it again because it's like legal stuff, so it's hard for me. No, not my training. Yeah, dude, I should be digging or something. But yeah, we have a legacy of like that has to be like dealt with bit by bit, and like it's encoded. All that history, all that stuff I'm talking about hasn't gone away. What it does is it shapes the present moment, and then that present moment shapes the future. And then I just told you a story about what happened to me. Why was it that I even had to have that kind of existence where I had to lie about my residency to get a quality education? Why? Because of systemic racism. School districts should be funded equally, like funded according to their need, not according to the property value of the surrounding districts. So what I mean is that there should be redistribution. You should take money from all the counties and then distribute it equally so that there isn't rich school districts and poor school districts. There's all school districts. And that way you don't need to lie about your residency. And that way, so like and imagine like this, right? If I didn't have to lie about where what did that mean that I went to school in a place other than my community? It means I have never really developed a sense of community. Really young, I didn't know any of the neighborhood kids, dude. I didn't know any of the neighborhood kids, maybe a few of them, but they went to the neighborhood school, and I went to a school far away. So I didn't develop a real strong sense of community. Like I never really have. Like it took me a long time to even like develop a sense of like the looking glass self. It took me a long time. And then when it happened, I was paralyzed. Mary Stewart, Dr. Stewart was there when it happened. Rest in peace. She was great. What a great teacher. What a great instructor, professor. She taught me a lot about gender relations that I wouldn't even seen it. I would not have even seen it. I had no clue. They were not even there. Not even there. I had been so thoroughly conditioned and socialized by my society, they were invisible until I took her classes on gender and patriarchy, all sorts of stuff. I had no idea until Dr. Mary Stewart. from the University of Nevada, Reno. And then I see how not only is there race and class intertwined, but there's also gender. It's all a big ball of oppression. It's like a can of worms. You can't just pull one thing out, right? You have to liberate everyone. You can't just liberate one person. That's the mistake that the white landowning males made back in the day. They thought all we had to do was free the white landowning males and no one else. But you can't do that, dude. You can't do that. Once you pull one out, you're pulling the whole thing out. It's a can of worms. Now you're unraveling the whole power structure. Once you threatened it, because remember, what was before the idea of liberty and justice? What was before that? Divine right of kings. That's what was before liberty and justice and self-governance. That's what was before it. So before this, before we had liberty and justice, it was divine right of kings. One dude, based on the fact that he was born into a family, got to decide who lives and who dies. Not on what's just, not on what's right, not on what's true, but just because he's born in the right family. He decides who lives and who dies, who gets to have lots of wealth and who doesn't. So yeah, rightly, they wanted to get rid of that idea, right? What a bullshit idea. So rightly, they said, no, you can't do that. That's not just to have this. It's not right to have one dude hang up on top deciding everything just because he's born that way. No, we have a better idea. Our idea is that all us landowning white males have the capacity for reason. Therefore, we the people, white landowning males, should have freedom and liberty and justice. And we will go forth to secure for white landowning males this idea and manifest this idea for white landowning males. You see what I mean? It was a really, really limited idea. They weaponized the idea. They weaponized it. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It's not a weapon. Yeah, and so, but it's that Billy Joel song, dude. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. They used the fire of reason. The white landowning males who wanted to break free of the king, right? They needed a way to do it. And the way they did it was through the fire of reason. They said, we don't need a fucking divine, we don't need, because the reason why the king was on top is because God said so. That's what it is, right? God said so, and all these guys agreeing with me that God said so, and if you don't agree with me, we'll fucking kill you. give me half your wheat. Give me 90% of your wheat. That's how it was, dude. It was fucked up. So rightly they wanted to get away from that. And the way they did it was fire, the fire of reason. It's like, no. What is this farcical aquatic ceremony? Just what's the story? Why do you get to I want to read that quote. Monty Pie. Farcical aquatic thing. What is it? Listen, strange women lying in ponds, distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. You can't expect to wield supreme power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you. Alright, it's from Monty Python. So the peasant's correct. What he's saying is correct. Just because somebody, you say some god says you're king, doesn't mean you get to have supreme executive power. But that's using the fire of reason, right? Reasonably, that's correct. You can't defeat that argument. You have to rely on some like God or something, and then enforced by violence. So you can't use reason to do it. So they burned away the chains of divine right with reason. But I wonder if that's Calcifer. I wonder if that's the story of anyways. But the problem was, but the problem was, after that fire started going, they couldn't stop it, right? They couldn't stop the fire. Because the very fire that you use to break away from divine right, saying, no, look, us landowning men have the capacity for reason, therefore we can self-govern. Well, so too can like all these other people that you've been oppressing. Like the Native Americans that you've been murdering and stealing their land, they too have the capacity for reason. They too have the same, by your own philosophy, they too have, should be able to secure their property and their own human rights, the same rights that you say that you possess. How is it you can come and murder them and take their things if that's what you're really about? See, that they tried to contain the fire so that it would only justify for themselves, but it's not. It didn't work. It didn't work. It did not work. Oh man. Okay. Anyways, so now it's spreading. What I'm trying to say is that freedom in the United States necessarily has to come to all the people here. Freedom, justice, and liberty. It has to. It must. The whole basis of this country is built upon it. If it were not true, then this country could not exist, or should not exist. Should not. Or doesn't exist, maybe. But that's my whole argument that makes Palestine, or not Palestine, that's my whole argument that makes Israel questionable to me. Is Israel really there? Is that really Israel? Because as far as I know, the document that creates Israel also created Palestine. But I don't see Palestine. So how could there be Israel if there's no Palestine? I don't, So the same thing, that same judgment, that same measure can be applied to me, to us, to our country, to the United States. If the United States says, if the Constitution gives liberty and justice to all, where is it? Where is it? So I think we're at that moment now, right? Where it used to, now that information is starting to spread more and more and more people are figuring out that, hey, you too can be free. You too can be who you really are. You too can live without fear of being attacked by violence. The more that message spreads, the better it is. The better it is for the United States. But if you're an enemy of the United States, like the Confederacy, you don't want that information to spread. You don't want people to be free. So I think we're at a moment. We're coming to a moment. They already tried to overthrow the government on January 6th. And I think they're gonna try again in 2024. I mean, did you see what happened in Alabama? The Democrats right now should have control of the House of Representatives right now. Right now. The only reason why Republicans control the House of Representatives is because the Supreme Court let the Confederate States use racist maps in order to get a Republican win. That's the only reason. Because afterwards, the Supreme Court ruled, those votes, those maps that you guys used to decide, yeah, those are bad maps. You can't use them again. Motherfucker, you passed a court order, a secret court order, saying it was okay for them to use it. How can you say that they're bad after they already used it? Oh my gosh. See, it's like a needle in your third eye, right? Ah! Okay. So let's play Marvel, right? Let's be Marvel. Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we're being Pogokiro Cinematic Imaginary Universe. Pogokiro Imaginary Universe. I like that. That's fun. Pogokiro Imaginary Universe. Okay. Dig. Imagine. Imagine. Imagine a time. Imagine a place. Imagine a time and a place. Imagine a time. Imagine a place. Imagine a time and place. Imagine a time. Imagine a place. Imagine a time and place. Wait, I'm looking for a hole. No, I'm looking for like the way out. The way down. There's a way down here. It's not all like underwater stuff. I hope not. You know what? I'm never going to find that hole because I didn't mark it. Alright. Well, before I start talking about stuff, let me make sure I don't die. Underground, underwater, somewhere that I'll never find me because I don't have my coordinates up. Okay. Time to get out. This was a bad idea. Oh, there we go. Okay. Where am I? Ba-bump, 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 bump, ba-bump, bump, bump, bump. I totally forgot what I was gonna do. I really did. Let me see. Okay. What was I gonna do? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, imagine. Pogokiro Imaginary Universe. Okay, imagine this, right? Imagine that the Republicans did not take control of the House of Representatives. Imagine that didn't happen. Instead, what happened was the Democrats took control of the House of Representatives. Okay? Now, do you remember what happened? Do you remember the House of Representatives when they controlled it? When in 2020 to 2022, do you remember what they did? Do you remember what all the things they did? No. You know why? Because all they did was pass bills. That's all they did. There was no drama. There was no nothing. It was just pass bills, pass bills, pass bills. That's all they did. All the focus and drama then moved to the Senate. What everyone was talking about the Senate. And how fucked up the Senate was. Because these few senators are blocking all this stuff. That's all we talked about. That was the big focus. Well, and all the pressure was on the Senate, right? Remember that? Okay. Now, in our universe now, the Republicans cheated in order to get control of the House of Representatives. All right. So now all we do is talk about how the House of Representatives is dysfunctional and can't do anything and can't pass anything, and how they're just like beholden to the extremists in the party, like George Santos and fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene and like all those traitors, right? Because there's a bunch of traitors who conspired with Donald Trump to overthrow the government on January 6th. It wasn't just Donald Trump, right? You have to understand, he had help from the inside. Not only were there Secret Service agents, but there were also Congress people who wanted to, planned to delay the vote, to do whatever they could to stop the certification of the election. They were going to do whatever it took to stop the certification of the election. And they met with Donald Trump a few days before to get their story straight. So, anyways, I have like that. I mean, if you don't believe me, I mean, like, da-da-da. Your mind makes it real. Da-da-da. For real, dude, these guys. Logs show that 10 members of Congress attended Trump's meeting to put pressure on Mike Pence to decertify the election result of 2020. The list: Brian Babin, Andy Biggs, Matt Gaetz, Louis Gohmert, Paul Gosar, Andy Harris, Jody Heiss, Jim Jordan, Scott Perry, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are traitors. Traitors. A lot of those people are still in Congress, and so, like, it's terrible, right? They're messing up everything. They almost made the United States default on its debt. That's how bad they are. All right. Anyways, in Pagokiro's imaginary universe, Democrats control the House. So, no news comes out of the House. Like nothing. It's boring. It's too boring, right? There's no drama in the House. The House is passing bill after bill after bill after bill, like nonstop. Then you go. So all the focus now is on the Senate, and we look in the Senate. What's going on in the Senate? Dianne Feinstein is like really like needs to retire. She really needs to retire. Why doesn't she retire? Because she is a key vote on a committee, the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee is the thing that allows Joe Biden to nominate as many federal judges as possible. Because if you get a bad federal judge in their lifetime appointments, right? If you get a bad federal judge in there, it's terrible. Case in point, Eileen Cannon, the judge that let Donald Trump get away with stealing U.S. state secrets. She was appointed by Donald Trump. So you do not want Confederates appointing judges to judgeships. So then you're like, well, then why not just fucking replace Dianne Feinstein with another Democrat? Because in order to do so, the Senate is divided, I think, pretty equally between Republicans and Democrats. Remember, Turncoat, what's her face? Kristen Sinema, fucking like took off her mask. She's like, bah, I'm actually a reptile. Kristen Sinema took off her mask and came out as independent. She doesn't hang out with the Democrats anymore. Remember all the shit that she sabotaged as a Democrat? It's because she never was a Democrat. She was always an independent / Republican, pretending to be a Democrat so she could sabotage them. Which she did. She sabotaged the Democrats as much as she could. Then when she realized that she could not win the primary as a Democrat anymore, she switched to independent. So the Senate right now is divided equally between Republicans and Democrats, so that the agreement they made when the Senate first started, is the agreement they're stuck with unless both parties agree to make changes. So if Dianne Feinstein says, all right, guys, fuck y'all, I'm out of here. Fuck you guys, I'm out. Peace. She's gone, right? Dianne Feinstein retires. All right, so now the committee is down a member. So Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell meet, and Chuck Schumer's like, hey, what's his name? Chuck Schumer, and I just said his fucking name, Mitch McConnell. Hey, Mitch. Well, seems like we're down a member. I guess we gotta fucking elect a new member. But and Mitch McConnell says, but to do that, you have to alter our agreement. The agreement that we bound to in the beginning. And to do that, you need bipartisan support. And then Chuck Schumer would be like, yeah, I know we need bipartisan support because now the Senate is equally divided, but I thought you would do me a favor and help me out, because if I don't have that seat there filled, I can't pass federal judges at all, because you guys will have the majority. And then Mitch McConnell will be like, really? I didn't know that. I didn't even know that I would have the power if Dianne Feinstein were to retire. I did not know that. But if I were to get the power over this very important Judiciary Committee to my friend Chuck Schumer, I would say fuck you. And Schumer's like, motherfucker, fuck you, man. Because what else is he gonna do? Nothing. He can't do nothing. He's stuck in that agreement. The agreement they made at the very, very, very beginning, before we knew that Dianne Feinstein was pretty sick and just needed to retire. She's done her duty, dude. She's worked fucking hard. God bless her. I talked shit about her a bunch of times, and I'm sorry now. I feel bad, because homegirl really, really just needs to retire. She just needs to go home and just rest and enjoy what she's got left. Right? That's all she needs to do. But she knows that if she does so, Mitch McConnell is gonna block all the federal appointments, and nothing's gonna go through. So she's got to go home, conserve her strength enough to the point where she can go into Congress, fucking vote for a bunch of them all at once, and then get wheeled home again. Because again, Mitch McConnell will not let Schumer replace Feinstein. He won't do it. And if you can't replace Feinstein, then you can't pass federal judgeships. And if you don't pass federal judgeships, it might go to McConnell next. And then he's going to fill those federal judgeships. And it's important. Federal judgeships are important. You want to know how important? Look at Eileen Cannon. She accepted Trump's argument that U.S. top secrets that he had no right to have. She accepted his arguments that those might be his personal belongings, and she delayed the court case until after the election because of it. It was a bullshit argument, and then the Department of Justice had to go to the fucking appeals to overturn it because it was such a bullshit argument. And now she has the case again. She has the case again. The same person that Trump appointed has the case again. That's why it's very important to that Biden filled judgeships. And that's why Dianne Feinstein does not retire. And we have to stop being mean to her. We have to stop, like, we have to, like, respect the fucking work that she's doing. She ought to be at home. She ought to say, fuck all you motherfuckers. That's what she ought to do, right? She's old, dude. She's done her time. She's done her shit. She's done her shit. But she doesn't. She doesn't. She's holding on. Because she knows that if she doesn't, then we'll be fucked. So God bless her. Yeah, dude. In another universe, my mom would be in jail. And I wouldn't be here. I would probably be in jail too. Why? Because that's how you make slavery go in the United States. It's in our Constitution. Fuck. Wow. Right? By the grace of God. But for the grace of God, there go I. Or how's that go? Yeah, like that, right? That's my mom in jail. Man, I can't do anything. I'm just like running around aimlessly. Let me do crops, if anything. Just get crops. Cops come and try to snatch my crops. Poems, dude. I haven't done poems in a long time. And when I do them, they sound terrible. Because I don't practice. But really, I don't have anyone to do them for. I don't really want to do them for the public anymore. Why? Because back in the day, not everybody had a camera. Not everyone had a video camera on them. Back in the day, it was like a fleeting thing. It was ephemeral. It was fleeting because you couldn't record it. You're not going to find it on the internet, and reading it isn't the same. Now, everyone's got a video camera, so everyone records it, and I think recordings kind of lose something. They're not the same. I don't know. I mean, it could be helpful, right? Maybe I'm just saying it because recordings of me, because I like good recordings of me. I just don't like the bad ones. If you don't like bad ones, then don't do a bad job. Well, how do I not do a bad job? Practice. I know it's see, like, we already know the answers, dude. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. What do you... It's so funny. We already know. Like, what is this nonsense? Get out of here. Get out of here. Anne Rice. Anne Rice. I think she died, huh? Recently. She wrote a book called Memnoch the Devil. And in this book, she describes hell and heaven, you know. But basically, so what happens? What happens in the book? So Lestat, like, is just going around, right? Like, okay, so the books, the movie makes out Lestat to look like a bad guy. Interview with the Vampire makes Lestat look like a bad guy. But in the books, that's from that dude's perspective, Brad Pitt's perspective. I forget his name. That's because it's from his perspective. It's sort of like Rashomon, not Rashomon. Dude, was it Rashomon? The story that's told 4 times from 4 different perspectives. It's sort of like that. That's just the perspective of one guy, though. And the other stories are the perspective from Lestat's side. So it's like different. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 3. I think I got lost. And anyways, Lestat, like, becomes super powerful because he, like, drinks the blood of, like, the queen vampire. And, let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. I keep getting lost. And, something happens. He finds a big statue, and the big statue turns out to be, like, the devil. And the devil takes him around. Like, the devil's like, I'm not a bad guy. Hang out with me. I'll show you. So the devil takes Lestat around and shows him around, right? Because Lestat's super powerful at this point. And he Lestat's all like, well, hell is people. Hell is filled with people doing to others what others had. Okay, I think it was like the victims. It was like hell was filled with the victims. Not even the victims. Maybe the victims doing the bad thing to the person who did the bad thing forever. Until the victim was satisfied and forgave them. I think. Maybe not. I don't remember. I don't exactly remember. It's been a while, right? No. Not until the victim forgave them. Not until the victim forgave them. No, and the victims weren't even there. Why would they be in hell? No. No. It was other people there are other bad people in hell that were doing it. And yeah, the victims or the bad people would do it to themselves. Or have it done to them. I don't remember. Until they forgave themselves? I don't remember. Yeah, maybe. They would do it to themselves until they forgave themselves. And then they would do it to others. The other bad people. I don't remember. I don't remember how it goes. But I think the whole deal was that the devil wasn't doing this to be nice to Lestat. He was trying to trick Lestat into taking his place. He's like, I don't want to be in hell. You do it. And Lestat's like, no, run away. And then the devil almost got him. Devil almost got him. And then, plucked out his eye. The devil plucked out his eye before he escaped. And then, and then Lestat went around and told, and that's the thing. Then Lestat went around and told the story about, hey, guess what I did? Guess where I went? Because I think the big deal about Lestat going, because Lestat went to heaven, right? And he all met God. I don't know if he met God. Maybe. But well, yeah, probably, right? Yeah, of course he did. And he told the other vampires, he's like, oh yeah, you know how we're all eternally damned for our sins? He's like, yeah. Well, if you really want to, there's a way home. If you really, really want to, there's a way home. And he's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go yet, but if you want to, there's really a way home. Because remember, all the vampires thought they were fucking done for, right? They're damned forever. They thought, oh shit, I've been cursed to drink blood, like, of living people. Like, I've done horrible things. Like, I can't go into the light. Like, I can't go, like, priests, like, hate me. Like, I'll never have my sins forgiven. I'm fucking damned. I'm fucked. Like, I'll live forever. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. There's no hope for me. I'm fucked. And then, Lestat comes by and says, like, not really, not really, guys. Everyone, whatever. You can go back if you want to, if you really, really want to. If you really want to, it's not gonna be easy. So then, like, spoiler alert, right? Spoiler alert for this. So all the vampires, not all of them, right? But a bunch of vampires, a lot of them who didn't want to be vampires, right? They never fucking signed up for this bullshit. Like, remember that little girl who got turned into a vampire? Who was stuck to be a little girl forever, and she hated it because she's a little girl forever. Fuck that noise. She didn't want to be she didn't choose to be a vampire. She was a kid. Like, it was thrust upon her. She didn't ask for it. Like, everyone, like, other people, that's what made that one guy so, that was his like bad thing that he did. I forgot his name, dude. Lestat and the other guy, Brad Pitt. That was Brad Pitt's bad thing, is that he didn't ask for that little girl if that little girl wanted to. He just kind of did it. And she was a little girl. So yeah, she was going to be stuck a little girl forever and mess her up, right? She was never going to grow up to be a woman. But no. So anyways, there were some vampires that didn't want to be vampires. They never asked for it. They just were, but they were damned. Now they're damned, right? It wasn't their fault. They just were damned. And then Lestat comes along and says, "Well, guess what, guys, or everyone, if you really want to, there's a way out." And so, like, a few vampires, like, you know, they all lived underground and stuff, all heard this news, and what did they do? They're like, "Hey, it's noon. Let's go out for a walk." And they just went outside, and as soon as they went out in the sun, they were like, psh, like incinerated. Where'd they go? I don't know why I remember that story. Why I even started talking about it. And rice. Oh yeah, because hell. Hell. Like, and I was talking about Pagokiro's imaginary universe. The universe in which no one's talking about no one's talking about the House because the Democrats control the House. Everyone's talking about the Senate. In my universe, in the imaginary universe, right? Why wouldn't they be talking about the... So, carrot, potato, beet. Carrot, potato, beet. Carrot, potato, beet. Beet, the one I don't have. Yeah, in the imaginary universe, justice prevailed, and the GOP didn't steal the House by manipulating the Supreme Court. So everyone would be pointing at Dianne Feinstein to retire, and then I just defended Dianne Feinstein, and that's still useful even in this universe. Because, I mean, I wouldn't have even known about Dianne Feinstein if I didn't, like, hear someone complain about her. And then I joined in the complaining because I didn't understand. And now I do. And now I felt bad that I complained. Yeah, in the alternate universe, we're talking about, like, how the Senate is barely moving and how Manchin has done a cinema. Manchin did a cinema, dude. Manchin has flipped sides and has joined the Republicans in like everything. He joined the Republicans in everything. You know the Manchin Inflation Reduction Act that passed in 2022. Remember that? In 2023, Manchin wants to overturn it. He wants to end it. Oh, I have no food. What happened to my food? I'm gonna starve to death. This is no good, and I can't run. He flips sides. Now everything he does is he's joining the Republicans on everything. So, but we never hear about it, right? No one ever hears about it because we're always talking about the House, how the House is dysfunctional. It's almost as if Republicans did that on purpose. Yeah, I need a friend to play with to keep me like focused on something. I tend to like just like wander aimlessly, like it just did. I'm gonna go hunt for people I can save. Oh, I should have brought name tags for me, but oh well. Okay. All right. Look at this other bullshit. Oh, this is no good. What actually happens when a country bans abortion? Romania, under Ceausescu, whatever, created a dystopian horror of overcrowded, filthy orphanages, and thousands died from back alley abortions. Right? So we don't have to pretend as if we don't know what happens when you outlaw abortions. We don't have to pretend. Here, why don't I just do it like this, dude? I can play in windowed mode, right? Oh no. I mean, it's not as cool for you guys, but sorry. What can I do? I mean, I can't change the aspect ratio to fill in everything. So sorry. Yeah, maybe like this. Oh, da. Perfect. I'll just play windowed mode, which is kind of weird. It looks all weird, but that's all right. I'll get over it. Ooh, yeah, my video card is really working it now. Okay, so we already know what happens when you outlaw abortions because we look at Romania, right? You get a bunch of orphanages that are overcrowded and filthy and underfunded, and a bunch of kids that the state has to take care of. I'm not saying those kids are bad, right? I'm just saying sometimes, like, it doesn't work out the way you think it will. In 1966, the leader of Romania, Nicolae Ceausescu, outlawed access to abortion and contraception in a bid to boost the country's population. In the short term, it worked, and the year after it was enacted, the average number of children born to Romanian women jumped from 1.9 to 3.7. But birth rates quickly fell again as women found ways around the ban. Wealthy urban women were sometimes able to bribe doctors to perform abortions, or they had contraceptive IUDs smuggled in from Germany. IUDs are like little devices women can put into their uteruses that prevent them from becoming pregnant. It's just a little piece of metal that they put inside of them, and they just leave there for a little while. Okay, yet Romania's prohibition of the procedure was disproportionately felt by low-income women and disadvantaged groups, which abortion rights activists advocates in the United States feared would happen if the Alabama law came into force. As a last resort, many Romanian women turned to home and back alley abortions, and by 1989, an estimated 10,000 women had died as a result of unsafe procedures. The real number of deaths might have been much higher, as women who sought abortions and those who helped them faced years of imprisonment if caught. Maternal mortality skyrocketed, doubling between 1965 and 1989. Sometimes a woman couldn't even tell her husband or best friend that she wanted to have an abortion, as it would put them at risk as well, said Irina Izeli. Elise, an academic researcher and co-founder of the Front Association, a Romanian feminist group, and the Feminist Romanian website. For many women, sexuality represented a fear and not a part of life that can be enjoyed, Elise said. Another consequence of Romania's abortion ban was that hundreds of thousands of children were turned over to state orphanages. When communism collapsed in Romania in 1989, an estimated 170,000 children were found warehoused in filthy orphanages. Having previously been hidden from the world, images emerged of stick-thin children, many of whom had been beaten and abused. Some were left shackled to metal bed frames. Nor did Romanian law do much to achieve Sue's goal of dramatically increasing the population. Making abortion illegal will not lead to women having more babies. So if the goal is to bring about more lives and to protect more lives, this is not the instrument to use, said Maria Bucur, a professor of history and gender studies at Indiana University. Why am I even talking about Romania? Because, again, we already tried it. I'm going to make more coffee, by the way. We already tried it. I hope a creeper doesn't come and blow up my fucking train station. That would make me angry. We already tried it in Romania, so we know what the effects are going to be. We already know what the effects are going to be. We don't have to fucking guess. Like, we have science, and science tells us that's what's going to happen. You're going to have an increase in mortality, an overloaded state with a bunch of kids that can't take care of. And we know that's going to happen because that's what happened last time. And here's the deal. Remember, it doesn't affect richer women. It only really affected the poorer women. And in the United States, class, race, and gender are all intertwined. So what do they mean when they say poorer women? I'm talking black American women are going to be the ones who face the brunt of this attack, of this policy. They're the ones who ultimately suffer. And really, it's historic because rape has been used historically as a means to oppress black women and to enrich white slaveholders. Historically. So even touching the whole reproductive thing is touching fucking ridiculous levels of trauma. That ridiculous amounts of trauma. The family separations that under Trump, ridiculous amounts of trauma that you're touching. That nerve is raw, you fucks. Women control their bodies. Close enough. The wrong side. Should be on this side. Because we want the light to be. We want the light to be indirect when you see it from the ocean. I didn't go out to catch zombies tonight. Is there a bed? Yeah, there's a bed in there. Shing. Sleep. the all of the 2 hours. What I should do is get rid of some of these torches, but like, I'm afraid of creepers. See, there's a zombie villager I could have saved, had I known, right? Oh well, my friend. Maybe if I get rid of some of these other, like, I need them to spawn closer to me. Fuck you, Enderman. Fuck you. Come on, get over here, come on. Ugh. Yeah. All right. What else we got? Gotta hang out here until the next night. That island. Fantasy Island. What was I talking about? I don't even know. I forgot. What time is it? I've been going an hour and a half. It's only like 10 o'clock. Man, that's so nice. I'm gonna have such a nice day. Later on today, downtown, there's a Juneteenth celebration, and I'm down for it. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I'm down for it. Okay, what else is going on here? Just so you know, guys, just so you know, right? So there's no question about it. So there's no confusion, right? RFK Jr., that guy trying to run against, Biden for he's a fucking fraud. Fuck that guy. Look who he hangs out with. He hangs out with the fucking worst people. He hangs out with traitors. Both these people have been convicted of, they're both traitors. They were both convicted felons, and then Donald Trump pardoned them. So they covered for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump pardoned them because they covered for him. Like, these guys are traitors, and then he's working with them? Fuck that. Yeah, that Robert, that RFK guy, yeah, junior guy, dude, fuck that guy. Oh my god. Why would you even do that? I need this coffee, man. Even the kitty is coming in and eating the food. Come, kitty cat. Yes, she is. All right. So in the meantime, what else do we got? Like, I can show all the things I couldn't show yesterday. Because I was going almost 4 hours yesterday, guys. Like, almost so long. An educated citizenry. Yeah. I should move me. Or I can make me smaller. I'm looking the wrong way. I'd have to put the camera this way. Can I do that? Oh, no, I can't because I have all my shit over there. Now I fucked everything up. It was the wrong time to experiment, homie. Okay. Okay. Now all my shit's fucked up. Okay. An educated citizenry is much less likely to fall under the sway of an authoritarian leader. So, the fight to give everyone a high-quality education isn't just about education. It isn't just about creating upward mobility. It's also a fight to preserve and strengthen our democracy. It's bullshit that mom went to jail for sending her kid to a better school. It's bullshit. All kids should have access to high quality education. It doesn't matter where you live. It shouldn't matter where you live. It should not matter if you live in a poor neighborhood or a rich neighborhood. It shouldn't matter. In the United States, public education should be awesome for every kid. So when I was going to this beach school, in 5th grade, I had a black teacher, a black American teacher. Her name was Mrs. Troop. And at the end of the school year, in June or toward June, she did this event that I didn't even know what was going on. And she had a bunch of pictures from like the Civil War and stuff. And she told us about like I don't really remember. This is the 5th grade. This is a long time ago. And she had a bunch of food that she called soul food. And I remember I looked at it. I didn't know what any of it was. And I was like, I've never had it before. I wasn't sure if I wanted to eat it. I was a picky eater back then. Yeah, and I think I think if I maybe I didn't realize or I don't remember it correctly, she was teaching us about Juneteenth. In like in the 80s. Like, and I could like barely remember it. I didn't even connect it until like recently. I didn't even connect it again until recently. But yeah, I think my first exposure was 5th grade. And only because that teacher did something that like other teachers wouldn't have done. How many black teachers have I had? Not many, if any. Maybe only that one. I'm trying to think. I've had college professors. Yeah, university. But like in my youth, like only one. Okay. Oh yeah. Look at this bullshit. Look at this nonsense. What is this nonsense? On Fox News, they're calling Joe Biden a wannabe dictator. On Fox News, they're calling Joe Biden a wannabe dictator. Joe Biden was elected president by the majority of the Americans, by like the widest margins ever, the most Americans ever. How can you call him a wannabe dictator when he literally was elected by the majority of Americans? Particularly when you juxtapose him against the man who tried to overthrow the election, who tried to overthrow the will of the people. How can you call him the dictator when he's right next to the criminal, the traitor, who tried to overthrow our country? Fox News is a propaganda network. Anyone who gets the information from Fox News is having their brain washed. My whole show was about how people get their brain washed. You want to see an agent of socialization, an agent of brainwashing? There it is, Fox News. Like, this is bullshit, dude. Wannabe dictator speaks at the White House after having his political rival arrested? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Here, I need to. I shouldn't have even done that. Here, snip. I need to fucking mark that shit up. I have to be teacher guy. I have to be that guy now. So here we got elected by majority in a free democracy. You're not a dictator in a free democracy when you're elected by the majority in a free democracy. Like, why would you mischaracterize that? What entity would call a person elected by the majority a dictator? This is bullshit. That's bullshit. He didn't arrest Donald Trump. The Department of Justice didn't indict Donald Trump. The people of Florida indicted Donald Trump. Do you know how grand juries work? a prosecutor gathers the evidence through investigation, through their investigation. They get all the evidence together from their investigations. And then they call together, they impanel a grand jury made up of regular people who live in Florida. Regular people who live in Florida. Grand jury. They get called up. They sit on a panel, right? They sit on a panel. So they're on a panel and they're looking. Here, get rid of this. They're looking at all the, they're sitting on a panel and they're looking here, right? And down here, the prosecutor is going to come up and says, all right, grand jury, I believe that this person has been doing a crime. And this is the evidence that I've managed to gather for you to tell you that this person's been doing a crime. This person's gonna come and speak. Well, I saw this person come and fucking do shady shit. Oh yeah, thank you, guy. And then next person. Oh, I saw that person come and pay money for this other person to do shady shit for them. Oh, okay, thanks, guy. All right, they leave. All right. Next person. I'm the guy who did shady shit who got money, and I did so because this bad guy told me to do it. Okay, guy, thank you. All right, he leaves. So, as the prosecutor, I'm gonna tell you guys, I believe for these reasons that we should indict this bad person over here. All right, jury of regular 12 people from Florida, what do you think? And then these 12 people who watched all this happen, they're going to go back over here in the room and go like, well, there's that guy who said so, and then there's that other guy who said so, and then there's that guy who said so, and then they have all these receipts, and they have this recording, and they have this testimony. And I think that there's enough here that we can go ahead and say that they should take this guy to trial. And the guys over here, they say, well, 12 of us, I think, well, I think we agree. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Oh, come on, buddy. Look up. What about this? What about there? What about there? And he's like, okay. So everyone agrees. 12 people all agree. Let's do it. Okay, prosecutor, go ahead. Indict. Prosecutor says, okay, guys, thank you. And he goes off and indicts. Who made the decision? Was it Joe Biden, elected president? No. Was it the Department of Justice, headed by Merrick Garland? No. Was it Jack Smith, special prosecutor? No. It was 12 regular people, 12 regular Florida people who got to see the evidence, who got to see all the evidence and said, yep, we think there was a crime there. That's who did it. That's who decided it. Why would Fox News completely fucking mislead its audience by doing that bullshit? It's as if they're helping Putin, right? What does Putin want? What is the story that Putin wants to tell? Putin wants you to believe that democracy fails, that democracy is broken, it will never work, that you need a strong leader that will guide you in order to make sure everything's okay. All that bullshit about human rights and gay people and stuff, you don't need that stuff. You just need a strong leader to tell you what's right. That's all you need. That's the story Putin wants you to tell. Right? Because that's how Putin controls Russia. And Donald Trump wants to tell that same story. You don't need rule of law. Rule of law is broken. Democracy is no good. What you need is a strong leader who's going to tell you what's right and to act decisively and they'll do it on your behalf, right? Because they look like you, right? And even if they don't look like you, we all know what the team is. So, Fox News is obviously telling the bad story. Telling the story that wants you to give up on democracy, that wants you to give up on the system, that wants you to give up on process, that wants you to give up on our country. That's the story they're telling. And Donald Trump is the con man who's like the monkey in the middle that everyone's focused on, but he's not the only one. They're a big team. They're not they're not necessarily like talking to each other to coordinate it, but they're pointing in the same direction. They're rowing the boat in the same direction, which is toward fascism. I mean, look at what Fox News did. They had an entire thing disparaging the president of the United States and exonerating the criminal who stole the secrets from the United States. How much more blatant can you get? You have to look to see, right? But like, that's the thing. If you don't look, you'll never know. So they put blinders on you. Let me turn this down. It's a little bit bright for me. It's a little bit bright for me. That's a lot better. I can see. Oh, I need a torch. That's what I need. In my hand. Hi ho. Searching for zombies I can save. In the dark forest. Actually, this is like the worst place. I can't see anything. Oh, there's probably an arrow. Yep, it was. Alright, look for zombies you can save. Holy shit. Alright. Wah! Get out of here, man. I need to heal. Call in the artillery. Yeah, I could install a mod that makes fire arrows catch things on fire for real. Which sounds cool until it happens. Until you accidentally burn down your own house. Oh, I wasted this night. Man, I'm supposed to go around and find the zombies to save and I forgot. The problem is there's this big like hole right there. I need to make a bridge. To the bridge. Oh, right there. I can make a bridge. In the daytime. Hey, that's a good idea. Hey. Whack. Okay. I mean, I made this whole thing here. Maybe if I do it from this other side. I mean, the sun's coming up, dude. Come on. Even chop down some trees to make room. Yeah, what else is going on? Everyone should have quality education. Women should have control over their bodies. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Information flows really fast. Now. No, my sword. All chat. Live chat. There we go. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. The wrong kind of zombie. I don't have any blocks, man. Well, I mean, I do. I have wood. Wood blocks. Okay. What is this? I don't know. It's a bridge. It solves the problem of that big hole there. Nice. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Hey, I should like work on this. And make it even nicer. Instead of using solid blocks, I should have used planks. I would have got more blocks out of it, but that's okay. Okay. La 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 la. Playing Minecraft. What time is it? 10. Okay. Dude, I can do this for fucking. I can do this for like. I can do this all day. I'm gonna need a lot more fences. A lot more wood. Interesting fence design. Why, thank you. All right. The next fence would be like right here, right? I want it like right there. Like that. That's how I do it. Ha! But I have to put a dirt there. A dirt all over. Then I will do so. This hill? This hill right here? Okay. That's the deal. See, that's what you're trying to do. Okay. Ah, it's gonna be like that, huh? Oh no! Oh no! Damn it! I fell down. Okay. But this bridge is here. Handy dandy bridge now. The handy dandy bridge now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna terraform this hill out of existence. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Magnifique. Fantastique. Excellent. Superbe. Fantastique. Alors. C'est chouette. Hey, hey, buddy. Super nice. Now, this great divide does not divide. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, there's a huge cave under there. You didn't render fast enough. Forget you. The end. Oh man, look how far that. Oh, that's like a huge cave. Yeah, I'm not going down there, man. Did I come up from this way? Where? Just fill this in real quick. That's like a pitfall for no reason. Dirt. You think you have too much dirt, and it just goes so quick. Dirt just goes so quick. Okay, so people don't fall in the hole on their way through. All right, let's look for some zombies to cure. Dark and rainy night. I don't see anything. It's too dark and rainy. I heard the wrong kind of zombie. Just wandering through the dark. This is kind of scary. Kind of scary, man. No, I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared at all. I need to eat, though. Wrong zombie. Yeah, this smite was a good idea. I thought, like, yeah, sharpness would be, like, the one to get, and it turns out smite is incredibly useful. Because skeletons are the worst, and zombies are everywhere. And drowned are undead, so they die to smite. Like, one-hit zombies, that's awesome. It's a zombie party. Oh, the rain stopped. How nice. Well, okay then. Let's go look for zombies. By the moonlight. Actually, I have that bridge. Let's go use the bridge now. I don't know what this is. I don't know why I made this. I hope this isn't world spawned. The actual world spawn. I don't know. Make attorneys get attorneys. Where's all my zombies, Holmes? Oh. That's no zombie. Oh, there's my phone. I'm gonna go. Alright, peace out, guys. Stop.